Hi, my name is Chinny, and it takes a lot for me to say this, and it would take a lot for everyone else to say this, but I am a porn addict. But I want to change that. I want to change that forever, for the rest of my life. I don't want to be one anymore. Hence why I'm making this video, to keep myself accountable, to let everyone in on my methods, and to help other people who may be going through a porn addiction but may not admit it. And I've deluded myself for so long thinking that I'm not addicted to porn, masturbation, and addicted to it, because I've always thought that I can just quit whenever I want. Easy, simple as that. But then when I do try to quit, I orgasm and I masturbate to porn for one last time, and then every time becomes a one last time before I truly quit porn. And it's always been one more time, one more time, one more time, and I just keep doing it. So yeah, I think I'm addicted to porn, and I don't want to be addicted to anymore. I've been addicted to porn since a very young age, and the first time I jerked off to porn and orgasmed to it, I knew it was wrong in my heart. And I knew it was a boundary that once I crossed it, I was never going back. And it's affected me my whole life. And I'll talk into more details once I'm feeling more open to it. But porn has only had negative effects on my life. And so, if I can quit porn, then anyone can. So today's plan is to just stay busy. Today we're gonna do our studies, and then we're gonna do our work, some voice acting, and then some gaming and writing. So I was just gonna be busy, and hopefully that'll work, and that's the plan. So yeah. So I have to say, yesterday was a success. I just kept myself busy. The first thing I did in the morning was just go out for my sprints, and boom, it really set the tone and set the start for my day. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I've been up for 16 minutes in the morning. I do get really horny. Like, it is outrageous how horny I get, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm just gonna go and start my workout. But like I said, in the morning I did my weighted dip workout along with my push-ups, and then I went for a run, and then I did my voice acting, and then I did some gaming, and now I'm currently applying for some jobs and doing some writing. So I'm being productive, and I think that's the massive thing that you need to do. You need to keep busy. You need to focus on something, a goal even. For me, my certain goals is to write several pages of my book per day, or have a goal in, it might be a different addiction, but at least it's better than porn, or achieving a certain goal in a game, because I'm creating content for games, and hopefully they pop off, but it's a goal that I have in mind that I'm working towards, that I have certain, like, deadlines that I want to do within a week, not within a month or so. So I think that's a large part of it. You need to keep your mind focused from slipping or being bored, because by being active, you're stimulating your brain and getting dopamine in different ways, not the easy way, in a better earned hard way. And the thing with that is, you need to do that, but sometimes you do need to socialize, because I find that when I'm by myself, that's when the thoughts come in, and that boredom comes in. So that social connection really helps to store the horniness, or make it so you don't need to beat your meat per se. And I gotta say that I spent time with friends today, and I feel really good. I feel really focused, and by being alone, I think that's where a lot of insecure thoughts come from. And then because of those insecure thoughts, then you start to try to feel better about yourself, and you do that by whacking your meat. And so yeah, I think being productive but also socializing is a big part of it. And a lot of things that I hear about it is, you have the monkeys, all right? You have the monkeys. You have a monkey socially isolated, and what would he do? Beat his banana every day. So I think that's definitely an analogy, or something that supports what I'm saying. But yeah. So today I woke up and I nearly got caught out, okay? I got so freaking horny, but I'm up now and I'm gonna do my workout. And to go along with what I said yesterday, it's like, I think when you feel insecure, then you feel better about yourself when you whack your meat, but then you gain post-nut clarity, and then that makes you feel even worse, because you're like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I just jerking off the pixels? So it's like, it makes you feel even more insecure about yourself afterwards, as well, so you get even more addicted, so then you do it again because you're insecure. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a never-ending insecurity cycle, and it just makes you feel worse and worse and worse. And that I can see how I got addicted in that aspect, and in a certain way it made me do other things which I'll talk about later. Also, to go along with whatever the heck just happened, every other single night, I'm literally telling you, for years and years and years on end, I would need 2 lots of sleeps. What I mean by that is I would sleep 4 hours, then I would need to go for a waz, then I would sleep another 3 or 2 to 4 hours. But tonight was literally the first time that, or last night was literally the first time that I slept a full 7 to 8 hours straight, which is actually crazy to me because I've been waking up all the time in the middle of the night to go for a waz, and this time I don't. I think we're onto something here, and I don't know if it's because like the different hormones and different chemicals and cortisol and stress hormone, like, if that messes with you when you do it, but then when you don't do it, it like resets it better. Maybe, I don't know. And to go along with why I nearly get caught out in the morning, I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with like morning wood, because I get hard in the morning, okay? I get like super duper hard, and it's so hard to like, I think my brain is just like, you better utilize this. But then I'm like, no, because I ain't gonna be addicted to porn anymore, So it's like really, really a struggle for me to like fight it, I'm struggling, okay? It's day 4, and I gotta say, I am struggling so hard, I'm struggling. Sometimes I get so horny when I'm doing something, and I just have to focus on what I'm doing, like when I'm riding or anything, Like I'm riding, and then I get so horny, and it's like, it feels, not physically, but it feels like a hand is like grabbing onto my brain, wanting me. It's like a hand's grabbing my brain, but it's pleasure and horniness, and it's all these chemicals like mixing up my brain, making me foggy in a way that's only horny. And it's like, I'm fighting it though. I'm fighting it, but it's so freaking hard because it feels like something implanted in me. It's so hard to fight that, and you know what? I'm doing it though. I'm doing it. So yeah. So I want to talk about something really in particular for me, and one of the ways that I would get addicted to masturbation is through using it as a stress mechanism. Like whenever I would feel stressed or anything went bad in my life, then I would use that to make me feel better or make me calmer in the moment. And I think it was very effective, but it's like using drugs in the moment, Yeah, it's effective at the time you do it, but afterwards and all the consequences of doing so is really, really bad. And so because of that, I would find basically any reason to whack my meat, any reason at all. So I'd be like, oh my gosh, you know what? I didn't do well in the assignment, I'm gonna whack my meat. Oh my gosh, I didn't do well in this sport, I'm gonna whack my meat. And I used any reason to do it, and especially in my relationship, it's like, whenever my partner would be upset with me, I would use that as a reason to whack my meat, and it sounds so freaking dumb, but I use that as like a revenge tool because, they're my partner at the time, and I'm just masturbating, and it's freaking ridiculous. And being horny makes you do ridiculous things and gets you into very, very certain niches which aren't good, okay? Very, very weird fetishes and everything of that. You're not the same person as you are when you're normal compared to when you're horny. You will do a lot of things in order to obtain pleasure, and I've experienced that firsthand. I've permanently done something to my wiener, not disfigured it, but there's like a scar because I wanted maximal pleasure, and I don't really want to talk about it. But when you're horny, you do a lot of things think a lot of things that you would do compared to when you're not horny, and some of them can actually hurt you in really, really bad ways. And another thing I have to talk about is like whenever I'd be on semen retention, as they call it, and then something bad would happen, I'd be like, okay, aren't good things supposed to happen? And then I would use that as an excuse to masturbate, when that is the test to see if you are better, if that makes sense. That is the test in making you a general better person, being a good person and everything, you know. But going back to the excuse thing, I would use any excuse to masturbate. So if things weren't going well when I was on semen retention, as I would say, I'd be like, okay, semen retention isn't working, therefore I'm just going to beat my meat, which is obviously really dumb reasoning, because outside party influencing how you are on the inside is utterly ridiculous, and that's a really delusional way to look at things. And you know what? I want to say that I got into this relationship because, you know what? Other than actually loving the person, actually knowing the person, and the first time being in love and stuff, I think I took a lot of disrespect, okay? I'm gonna say it. I took a lot of disrespect. I took a lot of things that I wouldn't take from a friend. I would overgive myself and they would give nothing back. And I was afraid to break up the relationship because not only was it my first relationship, but it was the first time I genuinely loved someone. However, I tolerated a lot of disrespect and a lot of boundary breaking and a lot of meanness, and I wasted a year of my life and a lot of money on that relationship. And maybe I wouldn't have been in that relationship if I wasn't so scared of being alone. So scared of being alone, whacking off to porn. You know, it's a very, very not like linked by like one tiny thread, but if I wasn't so scared and insecure, which is contributed to my porn addiction, maybe I would have respected myself more, you know? I would have respected myself more and I would have break up. And in saying that, I would say, you know, I'd say mum always said that relationship was set from hell, so I think sometimes you should listen to your mum, even when you think you are totally right. If you have a feeling that something is a bad choice, or not a bad choice exactly, but if you have a feeling where you're like 50-50, just don't make the choice to do it then, because I've made so many choices because of this medium feeling that I have, and then they all turn out to be wrong anyway. So I think it's safer, unless it's like to do with like risky things, if you know, but if it's 50-50 in a bad way, then obviously don't do it. Yeah. So, past few days, I've been actually really busy. For the past 3 days, I've been making videos a lot. Now, I made this like 40-minute video on a game that I was playing without a crosshair, and then I made one on this Roblox game that I really enjoy, and then I made a video essay on Detention Air. So these past 2 days I've made 3 relatively big videos that it's been on my mind, and it's been a project of mine for like a month or so now, and so I managed to complete those in the past 3 days, which is an amazing feeling, because I feel fulfilled and I feel like I've achieved something, because I've, you know, created something out of my own doing, which I really enjoy. I just love creating content in general. And so usually with my Detention Air video essays, it takes me usually a week to a month to make, to like script everything and to know what specific clips I'm looking for, but it only took me like 2 days, and that was like really impressive for me, because I managed to grind it out, and even when I was feeling a bit burnt out, I still did it anyway, and boom. And yeah, so I'm feeling good because I'm achieving something. Although something I've noticed recently is like I've been so sleepy throughout the day. Like, I don't know, I get up, I get my 8 hours of sleep, and then I wake up and I feel okay but slightly tired, and then I feel like really, really sleepy like 4 hours later, and then I have to like grind through that, because if I take a nap, then I take a nap for like an hour, and then that messes my whole sleep schedule, but I still take a nap anyway, and then, you know, I just get hit with a bound of sleep, and it's like, it's weird. But I want to go through how my porn addiction was like really, really bad. And it was really, really bad in the way that like it's all got to do with the imagination and the how much you overrate the orgasm, because sometimes I would set challenges for myself. It was so freaking dumb when I'd be like, okay, like I don't know if it's like a feat or like, you know how people like power scale or whatever. It sounds really weird, but it's like it sounds so stupid talking about it, but it's like I would be like, I'm gonna come 3 times in one session, or come like 7 times in a session, okay, and then I just would come one, and it's so weird. But I was so addicted to porn that it was like always on my mind. I was excited to get home after school and do it, and it was so bad at one time because I wanted to like achieve this specific goal for some reason. But I would set alarms at night, like every 2 to 3 hours, and I would whack my meat, because and that's when I think that's when I knew I was like, this is bad, because I was jerking off like every 2 to 3 hours when I was supposed to be asleep, because I would set specific alarms, and that was bad. That was a really, really bad time, and I do not want to go back to that again. It's like, it was so bad. I'd do it like 2 to 3 times a night, and ugh, man, you do different things to find pleasure, and it's just no good. I think if I could, I would just want to delete the whole porn thing from my mind. But yeah, so that's what's been going on recently. I feel like not whacking your meat and not being addicted to porn, or at least trying not to be, is like, it opens the gateway to so many things, because as I said, I completed my projects and I have like a lot of energy, and I direct it to somewhere else, if that makes sense. But also, I feel like it's a gateway to helping yourself with other things. Like, my diet has actually been really, really clean. Like, if that makes sense. My diet has been really clean. I've barely had any bad foods. I've been having walnuts. The only bad things I've been having per se is baked Odie slices by, let me see this. I can't read it from here. Mother Earth brand, and these fiber cookies from Aldi. That's like not only like sweet or bad stuff that I've been having recently, because yeah, my number twos have been kind of bad. Okay, but anyway, aside from that, I've been having walnuts. Walnuts, and I've been having dried dates. I think walnuts and dried dates help me sleep, to get into sleep. I think it's a good replacement for melatonin, at least, because it's more natural and less artificial and less powerful. But my diet's been really clean. I've been having, just beef, vegetables, and then sometimes bacon pasta on the side. And yeah, my diet's just been really clean. Although I've been having a lot of milk, I just enjoy milk a lot. But yeah, I think it opens a gateway to just like not to make yourself better in other ways too, if that makes sense. So yeah, 10th of June, and I gotta say, one thing that hasn't happened that I thought would happen like ages ago is wet dreams. Wet dreams have been my weakness, because like, to be able to have a wet dream while you're doing all this stuff is like, it's so like disappointing, because like, I don't know, it just feels like your progress has been removed, right? And the thing is, I would use that as an excuse, as like, oh, well, I had a wet dream, I didn't even like consent to pleasuring myself. I wasn't even conscious when this happened, so it's like, all my progress is gone, so I might as well just give up. But if anything, that's an indicator that you are healing, because you're constantly not doing it consciously, so your body's like, what do I do with all this excess semen? We gotta excrete it like during the night, and so that's what happens. And I would use that as any excuse to keep on fapping, but I haven't had a wet dream, which is honestly amazing. Maybe it means like porn's already like really like getting deleted out of my mind, but no wet dreams is is amazing. It's really good. I was scared that it would always happen, but if you do have a wet dream, you don't give up, because that is the indicator that you are making progress. So yeah. Okay, so I think I found a really, really good balance. It's where I have enough free time to do what I want, but not enough free time to beat my meat. You know what I'm saying? So I only have like 1 to 3 hours per day free. Otherwise, I keep my day busy with writing and doing my work and doing my videos, as well as spending time with people. So you gotta add things every day, just enough to keep you busy, but just enough to do what other things that you want to do. It's like almost like filling up something, you know? It's like the stuff you have to do fills the majority of the day, and then the stuff that you want to do takes up a little bit, but then because that's capped out, then you don't get as horny or don't have the opportunity to jack off anymore. So that's been my strategy so far, and honestly sometimes I forget about it. I'm just too busy to film for this, to where it's like, you know, I'm so busy that I forget to film for this and let you guys in on my thoughts. And it's like, it's been so effective that I've already said it, that I just, you know, that I haven't been struggling as much and haven't been needing to talk to you guys as much. And so, because that's been really effective, and along with the thing of like breaking this one addiction allows pathways into new things, I decided to try something out and make my own deep fried potato chips, and they turned out really good. Okay, I've been making potato chips for like the past week or past 2 weeks, or maybe even 3 weeks, I don't know, but they taste so good. You what you do is you gotta heat the oil in the pan really hard. You don't need like the skillet or whatever. You just chop your potatoes into like chip basically just chip sizes. You put it into cold water, let it soak in the fridge for like 3 hours. You can let them soak for a day, and then you don't have to, like, you drain them and then just wipe them a little bit to dry them, and then put them in the oil, and then wait till they're cooked. And it's really hard to undercook them or overcook them, because you can just take one out and then taste it, and it's like, because there's a large margin of it being cooked, and then you can just suit it to your preference, but generally that will turn out really, really good. And adding chippy salt to that is really, really nice as well as chili salt. So that's been good. I've been having a lot of that. Like, I'm not like, I feel myself more free and like less mentally blocked, which is why I did that cooking. I was just like, you know what, flip it, let's just do this. And I did, and it's better. I feel like my life is going in a much better direction. I also find myself being generally calmer. Like, I wouldn't argue with my parents as much, because I don't know, a lot of things would just like rage bait me, but I'm not rage baited anymore. I'm just like, okay, whatever, I'll do it right away. Or, you know, because sometimes it's always like noise in your head, and you know, but yeah, you just gotta do that. I think that's the most effective way, because yeah, easy lemons. Just filming this real quick. It does look like my chest looks fuller, but I do have a little bit more fatter. So, and during the experiment, I did feel that my strength I didn't actually gain any strength. My strength stayed the same, with the same amount of reps, same amount of weight, but I did eat a little bit more with the potatoes. So I guess I just have a little bit more overall fat on me as well. So if you're looking to get super strength from semen retention or nofap, this will make probably a very, 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 very like 0.0001% difference than if you just normally would. But yeah,